Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. I often wonder, why won't you choose to live in my world? Right now we're living in somebody else's world. And there are a lot of trouble in this world. In my world, most of these troubles are gone. I think about the past 35 years, I committed my life to try to change this world. I found out that it's a difficult task. I can't say that one man can't. I can only say that it's a difficult task. I say it's a difficult task because having spent 35 years at this mission, I know you can concur that it is not real in this time. And so I still leave the door open because I'm not gone anywhere just yet. And I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that I understand why it has been a difficult thing for you to accept where I'm coming from, because where I'm coming from is not a place that you are quite aware of. It is not a place that you hear a lot of information about. In fact, coming from me, it is even foreign to you. You might have read pieces, bits and pieces of it here and there in places like the Brave New World. So you know that these thoughts have been on others' minds, but I'm sure, well, the evidence is that it is like it is. And so I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind this thing here, is that your view of life is the view of life that have been programmed to you. And it is programmed in such a way that it likes to maintain itself. It finds reasons to say that it's the best in the world. This is not just your thoughts on your nation. It is the thoughts of every citizen on their particular nations. This is how they stay divided. This is how they have been programmed to be. This is the world that we're living in. We're living in a world that's absent of truth. There's a major, major beauty that's in the human race. And that is to recognize what's evil. But it can be hidden in such a way depending upon the indoctrination process that they've gone through. And yet, to make these diabolical, inhumane approaches in life, one who perpetuates it uses a gradual path. So it sneaks in on you without you knowing what's going on. You see, there's a stepping stone in this society that someone is resting to get on. And in order to get on that stone as an authentic ruler, you must be the choice of the people. And so if they throw everything at you at once, you can see right away what it is, and you would rebel. And so gradually, we're not in a hurry, they say, because in time, you will eventually say, this is what we want. And when you say that this is what you want, this is what you will have. But the opposition that comes from one who speaks like me is that here on this plane, you who have chosen the path you've chosen, for one such as anyone who has seen a vision that is beyond this, you are forgiven, for then they understand why you are like you are, because you have not seen anything that was powerful enough to make you understand. And so your lack of understanding is justified. And so you act the way you act. The problem is when those who say that they see the light walk in darkness. And what I'm basically talking now, I'm talking about communities of faith. I'm talking about Muslims who believe that they got grievances. Now, sometimes you hear a message about Allah is instructing them to kill anybody that doesn't believe as they believe. This is propaganda. What they're basically doing is they're pissed off because the life that they want to live on this earth, they can't live it. And they don't know who to blame. So they've been indoctrinated to blame others. And so what they're doing is the way they've been trained to do. And so they do these things not realizing that when they put bombs on themselves, you can bomb yourself up if you want to. That's an inalienable right to kill yourself if you want to. The problem is when you try to kill others. Now you have been told, so I have heard, I really don't know, that if you do these kinds of things, you will go to paradise. You would be engaged with several virgins. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, several virgins. It's supposed to be some fantastic stuff, I suppose. But you're supposed to get these virgins and a couple other things that I don't know of. But anyway, this is supposed to be enticing people to do. What they don't tell you is that what you have done through this type of action is establish yourself as a killer. You've established yourself as a murderer. So wherever you go in the next dimension, that's what you're going to be. A killer, a murderer, one who makes sure that anybody that's standing up for peace and prosperity will be devastated by people such as you who have demonstrated the kind of conduct that says that's what you are, a killer. Now you're going to go places and there are going to be people who are going to stand up for peace, and it will be people like you who would be a sniper and shoot them in the head for speaking about peace. Because that's how you've been tricked. You didn't know it. And for those of you who have not been tricked that far yet, some of you call yourselves Christians. Now you do as much killing as Muslims. We just say as Christian nations that Muslims do it for God. And we don't know what the Muslims say why we Christians do. Because they don't, our media won't tell us what they're saying. You have to go outside of that to hear what they are really saying about our conduct. But you can bet it's about the same thing that we are saying about them. They are probably saying we're doing it because we're serving the devil. So on and so forth. And the bottom line is we both do the same thing. So whoever one is serving, truly the other is serving as well. My mission here is to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that I see different than you do. Because I recognize that I saw things just like you see things. But I got a revelation. I was looking for a different way. I searched for a different way. I didn't find anything on earth that humankind does that's any different, that would produce any different results. So I kept searching. And it was revealed to me. It was revealed to me a life where all of us could live in peace. We could be prosperous. We could be joyous in our living. And this is looking out at the people, you, those things that are coming amongst us for us to really enjoy this life. For instance, food, clothing, shelter, education, and healthcare. These things would never be denied to any of us to any degree that we would require them. For indeed, there would be enough of everything for all of us to at least have as much as we need or want. And that was a beautiful way that this process has been set up. The earth and all of its abilities to produce anything that humankind has ever decided that they wanted, it has been able to do it. Humankind has been able to look out in space and see nothing, and then imagine and make it come forth. Look outside of your windows. You don't see audio and video and stuff, but you come inside and turn on a receiver that's programmed to those frequencies. And all of a sudden you'll start seeing, you'll start hearing. Mankind did this. Mankind did it because it had a spirit inside of them that believed that all of those things that seemed to be impossible are possible. And here we are in trying to make sure that everybody can receive these. And how is that? It's you and I. The abilities that we've been given to indulge ourselves in the process of creating these goods and services. Each of us applying ourselves based upon our own heart's desire. In other words, we're doing our dream. You know, some people say, I don't want to get up and go to work. You see, to them, work is a job. Work is something that you're doing because you have to, not because you want to. But in this vision of life, in this revelation, people go to work They go to play. This is something that they love doing. This is something that they say that they were born to do. This is something that they feel is the greatest opportunity in life. And so being able to take vacations and visit friends and travel and see the world is something that they love doing, but they love working back more. Yet they have to take their vacations and stuff because this time is the good wound up time. And so I ask myself over and over again, why don't you people choose this way of life? Well, I also know that the power behind the forces of this life, you see people who are living well. This is their reward for the role that they have played in this process. And for all of those of you who are suffering, whose dreams are being denied, whether you're just here in this country or all across the globe, you do this because of the systems that have been installed that allows these processes to continue. They continue in spite of the pain and suffering that others reap. In fact, the kind, wonderful life is built on the backs of those who suffer. And it happens because nobody knows the revelation I've seen, to the extent that they are willing to do more for it than talking. Now you got presidents, your candidates, all of them standing up telling the American people how much they want to serve America and what America means to them and how they are willing to fight for America. And I'm sure each and every last one of them are committed to everything that they are saying. They are not upset. They are not lying. They are serious about what their projections are. Now, they differ, and they're bringing it to you, hoping that they can identify with what's important to you. And that's how that game is played. And at the end of the day, it will be no different than what it has been behind Barack Obama, who was supposed to save the world. Can't do it, and whoever's projecting it to you now can't do it because they don't have the vision. Those of you who go to church, you can't help it. You're caught in a bind because you're listening to preachers who tell you stories that they heard about, read about, and have been educated about. They're not telling you about anything that they know. They're not speaking to you about knowledge. They are speaking to you from what they heard somebody said that they had knowledge of. So somebody got the knowledge, wrote about it, and these people study other folks' knowledge and how to interpret various things, and they come back and tell you about the knowledge that others had and what it means today. And what is the result? The result of that kind of teaching is the way the world is today. You hear about a power that's coming to take over the world, the New World Order, talking about extinguishing billions of the people off the face of the earth, so that the resources that you would have taken advantage of, now it's available to those few who would require it. And those numbers that are required to service these few, to be their servants, will be permitted to live. Many of them, right now, are reaping certain benefits, and they will be receiving less benefits when the billions have been killed, because they will have to replace them in their servitude. And I sit there and I think about this, and I tell you these things knowing that you look at this and think it's got to be crazy. Why, you never heard about this? Why, I'm a human being just like you. You don't see things like this. I must be out of my mind. Why? Because the way you see it is the same way everybody else around you see it. So you must be right, and anybody saying it different must be wrong. That's the way you've been trained to think. I understand that. I was trained the same way. Understand it. Trained the same way. And many of you, most of you, will never, ever come out of this trap. Never, ever come out of this box until you have enough hunger to see a vision and have a revelation that will show you out of this. Now, those who kill in the name of God, in the name of Allah, I just described to you what would happen to them. Now, what happens to a person who knows the truth differently who knows that it's better to stand up and represent what that truth is in the middle of hell for him. That means he has no food that he can count on, no clothing, no shelter, no education, no health care, no career that he can count on. He's living by the graces and mercies of somebody who still got enough in them to share. But his message is what is being told to you. And nothing more important than that message than this becoming a reality wherever this one is. Because that's what he requires. There must not be suffering of pain, poverty, stuff that can be fixed. Not where he is. He's not going for that. And so what happens? Usually, that one is killed. And this is what gets you. This is what traps you. Death. You believe in God, but you don't know God. You believe in God, but you don't know God. You see, if you knew God, you know that wherever you are, it's peace, prosperity, and joy, even in hell. But anything that comes to kind of deter that is pain and suffering of others. And so that's why you give your committed everything to rid that. As a doctor wants to rid cancer, or a teacher wants to rid ignorance, you want to rid the nation of that pain and suffering. And so that's your job. That's what you're going to do. And when somebody shoots you side the head and think they cut you down, what have they done? All while you were doing that, you were on top of the world. Now they think they take you down. Your body drops. And everybody sees you as being killed and dead. And they want to stay away from that. So they stay bound up in that trap. They don't know the truth that life is everlasting. And at the moment that you fell dead is the same moment that you walked into life continuously. The problem and the difference is this. The problem is to the other folks who don't know. Here's the difference, is that when you walked into life, at that moment, your life wasn't new. This is the life you've been living all the time. And the life that you're living all the time now has arisen to the point for what you lost your life for has been overcome in this where you're at right now. And those who you love and who love you, your children, your wife, your friends, they're with you. Nothing changed like that. In fact, just walking into this world didn't change for you. You have no memory whatsoever of anything that happened back here. All you can remember is this new world that you're in. You remember it from the time you were a child. Don't ask me why and how that stuff happens. The power that's unseen is able to do that, and that is a blessing. That's how you walk into everlasting life. When you find yourself in here, you still stand up for what's right. Don't listen to what these preachers tell you they heard. You ask the Spirit to speak to you, and that Spirit will tell you the same doggone thing that I'm telling you. And you will find that when you have to walk around with your hair hanging out or your teeth hanging out or missing, and you broke down and beaten because you are a victim of the system, but you stand up for what's right and make them take you out because you're not settling for the crap. You see, here's the benefit. If you don't settle for the crap, the world gonna get fixed. Or you're gonna step out in a world that's already fixed, where people have already learned the truth and they're walking according to the truth, where only those who believe in the truth should be. And they know it because they walk the walk after doing the talk.